Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our Region's Business. Innovation, transformation, momentum. Improving our communities and driving technologies that will shape our region for generations. The collaboration that brings vitality, prosperity, and life to living. Stay with us for the coming half hour as we examine in depth our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, talk about the world getting flatter. A new docket in your pocket helps do background checks in Pennsylvania. Plus, as Chevrolet celebrates its centennial, a dealer right here in our region celebrates its unique position as the oldest Chevy dealer under continuous ownership in America. But first, training people for tough-to-fill jobs in the Marcellus Shale industry. Our region weathered the Great Recession and its aftermath better than most due to the growth of the natural gas industry here. It's a big reason that our region lost jobs during the recession at only half the rate of the national average, and why we're outperforming the national average coming out of the recession. But despite unemployment that's still too high to satisfy anybody, the gas industry is struggling in some cases to fill all the jobs it's creating. For about a year now, Marcellus ShaleNET has been doing something about it by training people from our region for in-demand jobs in the industry. Dr. Byron Kohut is director of the ShaleNET Western Hub. Colonel Gray Berrier is deputy commander of the 2nd Infantry Brigade Combat Team. And Gary Slagel is senior advisor of environmental affairs for CONSOL Energy. And welcome. Good to see all three of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And congrats on the success of the program so far. You've been at it, what, for about 15 months?
Since June 30th, July 1st, 2010.
Okay, the rationale behind it in the first place?
We identified a need for labor workforce in the gas industry. We reached out to the industry, the Allegheny Conference, and put together a plan to write a grant for the United States Department of Labor, Education and Training Administration to fund a workforce solution.
Gary, how about the need in the industry? There's been so much talk about all those Oklahoma and Texas license plates. That's for a reason, though, in some cases, because there just aren't people with the skills here.
Absolutely, and that's part of why both industry and specifically the Pennsylvania Independent Oil and Gas Association is strongly supporting ShaleNET, working with ShaleNET to develop the curriculum and work on the job descriptions that are necessary to get these things teed up and get the interest generated so that we can get the people into the workforce. My company, for instance, is looking at over the next 5 years, just in the gas section, just in their gas operations at CONSOL Energy, needing 500 to maybe 750 new hires, and this is at the corporate level, basically in the field level, but factor in the fact that most of the work at the well sites themselves is done by contractors and suppliers, so you have sort of almost an exponential growth in terms of the number of jobs that will relate to what's necessary to fulfill the obligations and the needs out in the well drilling fields themselves.
Well, classic multiplier effect you get from any wealth generating industry. Right. It just flows right through the economy. So ShaleNET, it's what? It's shale-wide, correct? Multi-state program, and it's a whole partnership among different organizations that are doing the training?
Currently we operate in 3 states, Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Our major partners are the workforce investment boards across 16 areas in the 3 states. We have the major thrust of the grant is to place individuals into jobs, help them figure out how to get into the industry, you know, give them some background on the industry, some of the language, employability skills, help them build a resume, help them determine what the companies are and what they do, just helping them figure out what the names of the companies are. And so we developed an intake process that filters individuals into either career ready or they needed training. So if they're career ready, we help them through the workforce investment boards or career links and the one-stops.
Just get them employed. Get
them employed. That's our #1 goal, to find 3,000 people jobs.
Wow.
If they need some education, we have about $2.1 million to do training. And currently we have 11 sites, community colleges and career and technical centers across the 3 states that have just been approved to run the classes.
So Colonel Berrier, let's talk about the veterans and all. This is turning out to be a real opportunity. You think about National Guardsmen, you think about all the soldiers that are going to be returning from Iraq. How's that going? Is that your involvement in all that?
Yes, it is. I've had the privilege of serving in the Pennsylvania National Guard 22 years full-time. And throughout my career, one of my biggest concerns has been that only 5% of our force is full-time. The other 95% are traditional guardsmen. So with that, here in Western Pennsylvania, we've always had a concern about those citizen soldiers being able to find full-time, meaningful employment that they can raise a family on. And so I encountered Byron back last February, and as of last May, we conducted our first class through the ShaleNET program, putting over a dozen soldiers through the program, of which over half are now working in the industry. We definitely see it as a win-win, because what the industry needs are our soldiers have, both men and women, for that. They have a good hard work ethic. They're used to long hours. We're used to working under difficult conditions. We're used to working in an environment where they have to follow SOPs and follow instructions. They're used to following safety protocols for that. So all of the things that the industry is looking for, our citizen soldiers and those returning veterans have. So we're very excited to partner with ShaleNET and be able to provide that, our soldiers receive that training, and at the same time, while they're working in the industry, they still are active drilling soldiers for the Pennsylvania National Guard. Wow,
that's pretty impressive. You think about our region's history of providing a disproportionate share of the nation's military. It's great to be able to offer them something here at home while they continue service or when they're mustered out, I guess, when they complete it. How many folks have gone through the program and been placed so far?
We've had about 65 people go through the program at Westmoreland County Community College and Penn College of Technology. Right now we're at about 75% employed.
Wow.
Of the veterans, there's been 23 veterans that have come through our program. The one cohort was a class of 12. They're employed at about 60%, some people come through the program and they find that this isn't for them. So, but we've been very successful helping them find jobs, and by the end of the class, many of the veterans had job offers. We arranged during the class to have anywhere between 4 and 6 companies interview, group interviews, individual interviews, and they're offered jobs on the spot.
Wow, really exciting. One of the concerns you often hear expressed about this industry is they watch the rigs get set up, and then they're there for a year, and then they go away, and there's a sense of, can you really make a career at that? What can we really look forward to for folks that are considering whether they should go into this training?
No question, Bill, that this is a family-sustaining business and industry that's going to be around for many, many years. Pennsylvania DEP is issuing right now on the average about 3,000 permits a year for Marcellus Shale wells. It takes about 450 individuals in 150 different disciplines to drill a well. So, and I'm not saying you multiply 3,000 by 400 because those workers will move from rig to rig,
from site to site, sure.
But it clearly goes towards the fact that this is a big-time business that is here to stay. The resource, I can't tell you enough how the industry has been focused on the potential for Marcellus Shale. The number of companies just that have moved into the Commonwealth clearly illustrates the interest is there, and the economic benefits to be derived from developing the resource are certainly there.
No, really exciting. Congratulations to all of you for bringing ShaleNET to life and to reality. Dr. Byron Kohut, Colonel Gray Berrier, Gary Slagel from CONSOL Energy. Keep up the good work. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Next up, docket in your pocket. We'll meet an entrepreneur from Iowa who chose Pennsylvania to launch his new product. Stay with us.